The top stories tonight in Y News. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. signed into law the SIM Card Registration Act, which is a major boost in the country's fight against tech scams.
After being held hostage by a fellow detainee at the Philippine National Police Custodial Center, incumbent senators call for the immediate release of former Senator Leila De Lima.
Meralco to cut electricity rates in October.
Meta identifies over 400 apps developed to scam users.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 10th of October, 2022. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado.
First in the news, it's official. Filipinos must now register their SIM cards with their telecommunications provider before their SIM gets activated. Nel Maribohok will tell us why.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. expects the people to welcome the recently signed mandatory SIM Card Registration Act, particularly amid reports of various crimes using mobile phones, including the proliferation of text scams and spam. The signing of the act, which will now give authorities an effective means of regulating the issuance of SIM cards to cut back on the spread of spam text messages and scams, is in the view of the President long overdue.
With the signing of this act, we will finally achieve what has long been overdue, an effective means of regulating the issuance of SIM cards to curb the spread of spam text messages and scams. We will soon be able to provide law enforcement agencies the tools needed to resolve crimes perpetrated with the use of these SIM cards, as well as providing a strong deterrence against the commission of wrongdoing.
Under the SIM Card Registration Act, public telecommunication entities, PTEs or direct sellers, will require SIM card users to present a valid identification document to validate their identities during SIM card purchases. PTEs will also be required to maintain subscribers' SIM card registers which contain the data required by law. The National Telecommunications Commission or NTC must receive a verified list of all of their authorized dealers and agents nationwide, as well as quarterly updates every year. PTEs are required to ensure the registration of current prepaid SIM card phone subscribers within the prescribed time frame in order to cover all SIM card users. Failure to comply will result in the deactivation of services. Individuals who register using fictitious information, fake identities, or fraudulent documents or identifications will face penalties. A few smartphone owners agree with the SIM card registration passage.
Mas pabor yun para iwas yung mga manlulokong tao. Lalo na kung nakaregister ka, kahit saan ka mapunta, nadidite ka.
Yes po, pabor kasi tulad ngayon ang daming mga scam na nare-receive ng namin, included yung mga pangalan namin doon.
Oo, pabor naman para mawala na yung mga scammer.
Nel Maribohok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Some former colleagues of former Senator Leila De Lima appeal for her temporary release to ensure her safety after she was held hostage inside the PNP headquarters. This report will tell us why. Former Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon hopes that the courts will now reconsider granting former Senator Leila De Lima's release on bail. This comes a day after she was held hostage at the PNP Custodial Center in Camp Crame in Quezon City.
That matter of bail is addressed to the discretion of the judge. So we would ask the judge to take a second look at the evidence.
If the courts cannot grant her bail, Drilon appeals that she may be put under house arrest.
The legal issue is where should she be detained? And that is within the power and prerogative of the judge. What we are asking the judge is to allow detention in the residence of Senator De Lima.
Senate Minority Leader Coco Pimentel, for his part, says the cases against De Lima have dragged on for so long, even on the issue of bail, which he believes should be resolved soon. For Senator Sonny Angara, the former lady senator's application for bail should now be considered, and that authorities should assure her and other prisoners of better security arrangements. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva called for her immediate transfer to a safer and more secure facility to avoid further risks on her life. The senator notes that while they commend the PNP for their swift action, there is a need to tighten the safety and security of persons under police custody or PUCPs, as well as police personnel in detention facilities. Yesterday, Senate Deputy Minority Leader Risa Hontiveros personally checked De Lima after the incident. She also renewed her call to release the former senator.
Nananawagan ako sa bagong administrasyon. Gawin ang tama sa moral, gawin ang tama sa legal, at palayain na si Leila ngayon.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippine National Police will ask the court to expedite the issuance of orders allowing the police to immediately dispose of the illegal drugs that have been confiscated in Tondo, Manila. Leah Ilagan reports why.
PNP Chief Police General Rodolfo Azurin Jr. want to immediately dispose of the illegal drugs confiscated yesterday in Tondo, Manila, amounting to 6.7 billion pesos. This is to avoid a doubt on drug recycling and speculations from the public. General Azurin stated that they will request the court's permission to expedite the issuance of the order for the immediate destruction.
We shall seek permission of the court for the immediate destruction of this confiscated 990.1 kilograms of shabu after the required laboratory examination and technical inventory in accord with PDEA and DDB standard procedures.
Azurin also loaded the PNP Drug Enforcement Group in the confiscation of 990.1 kilograms or almost 1 metric ton of shabu.
But more than the amount of drugs confiscated, the important thing is we have taken all the street millions of dosage units of toxic chemicals in this shabu concoction that could have destroyed so many young and productive Filipino lives.
The suspect was arrested, but no one was injured in the operation. One of the suspects is a member of the PNP Drug Enforcement Group named Police Master Sergeant Rodolfo Mayo Jr., who will face administrative cases along with criminal cases. The PNP will also investigate the suspect's other possible cohorts. Leah Ilagan, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Following an increase in the price of agricultural goods, the Department of Agriculture released a recommended retail price for red onions in Metro Manila. Ray Palaya reports why.
The price of onions in Metro Manila markets is currently 200 pesos per kilogram based on the Department of Agriculture's monitoring. This is not justifiable for consumers according to the DA. This is why a suggested retail price of 170 pesos per kilogram for a medium-sized red onion is issued by the agency. The cost structure was computed from farmers to retailers and arrived at this SRP according to DA spokesperson Assistant Secretary Christine Evangelista.
Ang 200 pesos po na nakita po natin sa palengke ay masyadong mahal base po sa ating cost structure. Kaya po sumang-ayon din naman po ang ating mga stakeholders, ang ating retailer, ang ating biyahero, trader, and most importantly ang ating producer na at 170 po, ito po ang tamang presyo para sa ating retail price ng local red onions.
In Nepacquiao, Martin, Quezon City, prices of red onion even went as high as 240 pesos per kilogram.
Kami, dumidepende naman po kami sa bigay sa amin. Kung mataas ang bigay sa amin, kaya hindi alam na magpalugi kami, di titigil na lang kami pag tinanin sibuyas. Ganun na lang po ang mangyayari.
The DA will notify the major markets of the suggested retail price and ask the vendors who sell at a higher price in the coming days.
Consistent po yung margins ng ating retailers. So nakita po natin, ang gumagalaw po ay yung presyo ng ating traders at biyahero. So by having an SRP, it will also help us correct other bottlenecks sa value chain po.
The supply of red onions is still enough for DA and no further import permits are being issued. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In other news, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, has reiterated the warning against entering into the 6-kilometer danger zone of Own Volcano. Own Volcano is currently placed under Alert Level 2 by PHIVOLCS due to increased unrest. NDRRMC spokesperson Rafaelito Bernardo Alejandro IV said there should be strict enforcement to ensure the safety of the public. Flying of any aircraft close to the volcano is also prohibited. The agency also advised local government units in Albay to prepare for any preventive measures in case the unrest further escalates.
Meralco or Manila Electric Company customers will see a slight relief in their October electric bill payments. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The Manila Electric Company or Meralco reports that the generation charge also decreased in September and that the feed-in tariff allowance was reduced this October. This is why Meralco will be implementing a power rate cut on the October billing of its consumers.
So far as the generation charge components are concerned, we have a slight reduction of 2 centavos per kilowatt hour in the last supply month, which impacted in October bills.
Meralco customers will see a reduction in their electricity cost of 0.073 cents per kilowatt hour. This equates to a 15 peso rate adjustment of residential household with a 200 kilowatt hour consumption in a month, 22 pesos with 300 kilowatt hour consumption, 29 pesos for 400 kilowatt hour, and 37 pesos for 500 kilowatt hour consumption. However, this power rate cut is still insufficient to Meralco customers.
Sana medyo dagdagan pa nila para naman maabot namin kasi talagang kasi sa hirap ng buhay ngayon, di ba?
Sa tingin ko parang napakababa naman, kaya dapat siguro taas-taasan naman nila kasi ang alam mo naman ng buhay ngayon masyadong mahirap, di ba? So kailangan natin na talagang lahat ng bagay ngayon dapat bumaba. Kung maramdaman mo naman yan, siguro mga 300, 500 kahit papano, di ba?
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The National Housing Authority is seeking budgetary support for its Emergency Housing Assistance Program. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
The Emergency Housing Assistance Program of the National Housing Authority has zero budget for next year. Under the said program, the agency can provide immediate assistance to families who lost their homes during calamities and disasters. According to NHA General Manager Joe Bentay, some of the beneficiaries of the program are the victims of the Abra earthquake. Around 270 million pesos assistance was provided by the NHA to affected residents. The NHA provided 10,000 pesos to families with partially damaged houses, while 30,000 pesos to families who already lost their homes during the calamity. GM Tai also said the agency is prepared to continue the Emergency Housing Assistance Program.
So I hope po ma-consider po ng ating mga mambabatas from the Congress and Senate, hopefully maibalik po yung budget na yan sa amin so we could provide continuous assistance for 2023 and beyond. Because right now po, zero budget po ang binigay sa amin for that.
The 77.5 billion pesos was realigned by the House of Representatives to fund programs under education, agriculture, and health sector. There are still no reports whether the budget of the NHA will be amended, but the agency hopes that the Senate and the House will provide additional budget during the bicameral conference committee for the proposed 2023 national budget. Meanwhile, the NHA is reviewing guidelines how to prevent rental or selling of housing under the agency. According to GMTI, they will cancel the housing for beneficiaries proven to be renting their homes and will give it to the families renting it. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
A bill was filed in the House of Representatives seeking to provide academic year allowance to Filipino families. House Bill number 4523, or the One Family, One Graduate Bill, seeks to provide 60,000 pesos worth of education support to the poorest of the poor families. The said amount would cover the tuition, school fees, textbook allowance, and other education expenses. According to Quezon City 5th District Representative Patrick Michael Vargas, there is a need to support Filipino families and for them to have at least one college graduate. He also said that the bill would ensure that no one gets left behind on the country's economic recovery.
Commission on Higher Education Chair Prospero de Vera III reports that the revival of the mandatory Reserve Officers Training Corps program must be skill-based and include life-saving skills in its curriculum. Janice Inhente reports why.
The Commission on Higher Education recommends that the Reserve Officers Training Corps curriculum incorporate educating young people fundamental life-saving techniques. CHED Chairperson Prospero de Vera III said he supported making the program mandatory for adolescents, but it should be skills-based.
If I am going to be asked, I want an ROTC program that is very heavily skills-based. Not the usual, marching, people putting people under the sun, etc. Because that's not skills building. It has to be skills based. Why can't we capacitate every Filipino, young Filipino goes to our OTC to be able to learn how to swim and to save people, who don't know how to swim and are going to drown. Basic life-saving skills. When somebody falls, you break an arm, etc.
De Vera said that colleges may teach kids in the program by simply forming agreements with various organizations. The UNTV News and Rescue is one of the organizations that provide free training in life-saving techniques to those in need.
It's easy to do that. You work with the Philippine Red Cross. You work with a lot of civic groups to train them what to do during disasters, how to prepare for disasters, how to evacuate individuals, etc.
CHED said it is ready and willing to work with legislators, but a consensus on program direction must be set first. Janice Inhente, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, may not proceed with the filing of the Certificates of Candidacy, or COCs, for the Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections this month. Dante Amento tells us why.
COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia disclosed that if the President will sign into law the Barangay and SK Elections Postponement Bill, this would prompt them not to conduct the filing of Certificates of Candidacy or COCs for BSKE on October 22 until 29, 2022.
Ganun alam naman natin that when the President will sign the bill and will now become a law, publication na lang yun eh. Yung publication, ministerial na lang yun eh. So therefore, since alam na ng komisyon, so why should we still proceed with the filing of the candidacy?
Garcia added it will be impractical for the Commission to proceed with the COC filing, knowing the elections would be next year. The poll body will also stop the printing of ballots to change the template.
Ang purpose lang namin pagtigil ay para magawa ng bagong template. Na this time, yung bagong template, re-reflect na namin yung bagong date ng election. Para naman hindi yung tutuloy, alam na nga namin postpone na halimbawa, tutuloy pa ba naman namin yung December 5 na printing.
Meanwhile, the COMELEC is also expected to conduct at least 2 plebiscites before the year ends if the BSKE will be postponed.
We might be moving other scheduled plebiscites earlier kasi may mga nakaschedule na tayo by January. But kung talagang hindi na matutuloy ang BSKE, we will move some at tingnan natin kung kaya na natin 2 more or 1 more for December.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
With 6 commissioners and a chairman, the Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, on Bank is now complete. Nelson Celis and Ernesto Ferdinand Maceda Jr. have officially acquired the position of ad interim commissioner as of today. The poll body believes that their new commissioners would make a lot of contributions to doing their jobs well. The task force Contra Bigay or vote buying will be headed by Commissioner Maceda, while Commissioner Celis will chair the task force Contra Fake News.
The task force Contra Bigay, which will involve issues of vote buying in all our electoral exercises, regardless of whether it is the national and local elections or even the plebiscites or whatever electoral exercise. Commissioner Maceda will be the commissioner in charge.
With all 7 seats filled, the commission is now more fortified. With Commissioner Celis and Maceda joining the team, there is a decent diversity in the commission in terms of skill, knowledge, talent, experience.
Russian President Vladimir Putin is blaming Ukraine over the explosion on the key bridge connecting Russia to Crimea. Ruth Bahe will tell us why live. Ruth?
Elsie, Russia is ramping up security on the Crimean Bridge after a dramatic blast on Saturday that partially destroyed 2 sections of the bridge and has reportedly killed 3 people. The 19-kilometer bridge is crucial for the movement of the military equipment and troops in southern Ukraine by Russia, to which President Putin pointed out as a legitimate target for Ukraine. He added that the attack was planned and ordered by the Ukrainian Special Services, which aimed to destroy critically important civilian infrastructure through a truck bomb. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky acknowledged the explosion in his nightly address on Sunday and vowed to reclaim Crimea.
Це майбутнє без окупанта на всій нашій території, зокрема і в Криму. Ми гарантуємо усім російським військовим, які добровільно складуть зброю і здадуться у полон, збереження їхнього життя. Україна завжди дотримується усіх міжнародних норм, усіх конвенцій.
Elsie, while Ukraine had been responsible for a number of airstrikes in Crimea in the past month, authorities have not indicated that they were responsible for this particular attack. The truck bomb theory that emerged through social media and was initially reported by Russian authorities to be the cause of the explosion has also not been confirmed. Back to you, Elsie.
So Ruth, if the bridge is crucial for Russia to move their military equipment, would there be a significant effect to their transport after this blast?
Well, Elsie, the same day on Saturday, Russia's authorities have reopened parts of the bridge that are still intact and the traffic has resumed for light vehicles. Some experts also said that the damage would restrict Russia's military movement until it is repaired, but would not largely affect their ability to equip its troops because they will still be able to transport heavy equipment through railroad, while buses would be transported via ferry. Elsie?
Thank you, Ruth Bahe, for that live report. North Korea fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles towards its eastern waters on Sunday, a day after it warned about the redeployment of a U.S. aircraft carrier near the Korean peninsula. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said that it detected 2 missile launches between 1:48 and 1:58 a.m. from the northeastern coastal city of Muncheon. Japanese Vice Defense Minister Toshiro Ino also confirmed the launches, saying Pyongyang's testing activities are absolutely unacceptable as they threaten regional and international peace and security. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command said that the launches didn't pose any immediate threat to U.S. personnel or territory or to its allies, but the launches highlight the destabilizing impact of North Korea's unlawful weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile programs. An armed conflict between Taiwan and China is absolutely not an option, according to Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen, who also promised to fortify the island's defenses. Merijo Maleriado will tell us why.
Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen delivered her National Day speech, focusing on peace and security and how the country is managing its responsibility to defend itself by stepping up their defense reform. She mentioned that one of the effort is ramping up the mass production of precision missiles and high-performance naval vessels, and working on to acquire various small, highly mobile precision weapons that will help them develop comprehensive asymmetric warfare capabilities, ensuring that Taiwan is fully prepared to respond to external military threats. In her speech, President Tsai Ing-wen made clear to Beijing authorities that armed confrontation is not an option for both sides. Only by respecting the commitment of Taiwanese people to their freedom and democracy can there be a foundation for resuming constructive interaction across the Taiwan Strait. The 111th National Day of Republic of China Taiwan also marks the 73 years since the ROC government relocated to Taiwan. Tsai said that in these 73 years, the island's people have formed a strong sense of identity and belonging as they have lived and grown together.
Peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait is the basis for the development of cross-strait relations. It is regrettable that in recent years, the Beijing authorities' escalation of their military intimidations, diplomatic pressure, trade obstructions, and attempts to erase the sovereignty of the Republic of China Taiwan have threatened the status quo of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait and the region.
President Tsai wants to leave a message in her speech in the international community that they will take care of their own self-defense and will not leave anything to fate, and that they will work closely with their allies to jointly maintain the security and stability of the region. Merijo Maleriado, UNTV News and Rescue, Taiwan. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meta has warned its Facebook users of third-party applications emerging in Apple and Google stores, stealing personal credentials. Marvi Delphine will tell us why live. Yes, Marvi?
LC, over 1 million users were warned by Meta as over 400 applications were identified as scammers designed to steal account information to hack Facebook. According to the Director of Threat Disruption, David Agranovich, 42.6% of the apps guised as photo editors, followed by business utility, phone utility, gaming, VPN, and lastly, lifestyle. Upon using the applications, users are presented with a login with Facebook, where users enter their Facebook credentials, and from there, they are able to steal personal information. Meta found that the majority of scammer applications on Google were the fun and interesting consumer apps, while around 47 Apple applications were mainly guised as business analytics. In response to the report, both Apple and Google have removed the scammer applications, which Meta found. Google added that their services offer Google Play Protect, which hinders such apps. Elsie?
So, Marvi, what can users who have been affected do to secure their accounts?
Elsie, according to Meta, if a user thinks they have been affected, they must delete the app immediately and reset their passwords to a stronger one. They have also recommended to use a two-factor authentication process and turn on login alerts to be notified when a user has logged into your account. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you for that report, Marvi Delphine. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
The Department of Health continues to call for COVID-19 vaccination, including booster shots of eligible population. This despite decreasing number of deaths and severe cases related to the said disease. Asher Kadapan Jr. details why.
People aged 60 years old and above still have the highest risk of mortality in COVID-19 infections among all other age group and sectors. This despite significant decrease in the number of deaths among senior citizens. But the Department of Health reveals that those including in the said age group who succumb to COVID-19 are either unvaccinated or have not received booster shot. DOH Epidemiology Bureau Director Dr. Alethea de Guzman says this is crucial amid increased mobility in almost every community.
So itong mga datos na to, yun nagsasabi ng two things. Kailangan magpabakuna tayo, no? Especially doon sa higit na matatanda kasi sila yung pinakamataas na tsansa na maging mortal.
Meanwhile, the DOH also seeks protection for the minors against COVID-19. This is while some minors are still not eligible to be vaccinated. The agency says family members, especially those exposed to crowds, may protect the lower age group by getting vaccinated, including booster dose.
5% lamang po among those fully vaccinated have become severe, critical, or death. But among those who are not fully vaccinated, aabot siya ng beyond 8%. So there's still a higher risk among those not fully vaccinated na maging severe, critical, or death natin.
Asher Kadapan Jr., UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Meanwhile, Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla revealed that he is willing to place former Senator Leila De Lima under house arrest. But Remulla clarified De Lima should instead bring the matter before the court that now has jurisdiction over it. The issue surfaced after the former legislator was held hostage yesterday in the Camp Crame detention cell. Meanwhile, De Lima's attorney Boni Tacardon, stated that they will discuss the likelihood of this issue. Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 11, it says, "A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards." And those are the reasons behind the news October 10, 2022. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harding Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.